Love me or hate me.
Here comes the motherfucking G pimp type in your motherfucking hood, like that should be understood. We ain't stopping, nigga, nah, we ain't falling, we ain't quit. When you see me wanna stop, nigga, we all bullshitting in this motherfucker. With a sucker rusher, put the bangs on it, make him see some stars. Then rain on it, keep your aim on it. It ain't all about the hen and the hay. You see me in the streets, I bet you think I wanna play. Look here, I ain't got time. Look at me close, but through all the bullshit, seeing me blind, I got a purpose in this motherfucker. I'm in the show, if I can make it, you can make it in this motherfucker. Ain't no other brother gonna do it for you. He might help, but when it all boils down, still in it for yourself. You got a family, I got a family, and goddamn it, me time to let that real ass man in me take a stand for me. I got plans to be set tight, and ain't shit finna fuck up my plans to get right. Shit might seem way out of reach for folks negative. Better get with better things to touch better shit. And all the sneaky shit that your ass trying to do. You been even on my pimpin', looking for a downfall. And I ain't gon' even hang around y'all. I found y'all niggas to be false and fake assholes for the thing. What they do? They gon' give it up. Put your hand in my shit, I breaks it off. A-ball, yeah. MJG, we gon' get straight out the mind of a nigga who done seen the light. That's to me, got me gritting my teeth and I can't go to sleep. Feel the beat, bump, bump. Beating up a nigga back, bout to bust out the trunk. We crunk, we dumb, if a nigga won't funk. But I don't really think the motherfuckers want none. Pimp nigga, South nigga, running his mouth nigga. Pull out a map and choose another route nigga. Prisoner of war and I can't get out nigga. Mask face, drop it off like it's a drought nigga. Swab house nigga, big ball and MJ. Space age pimpin', doing it the play away. Underground, independent, making more dough. Hustling cause no dough is a no-no. Fuck hoes, let me hold something I can fold. Thinking you fly when that shit you poppin' is old. Cold-blooded like Rick with this rap shit. And if a nigga wanna scrap shit, I don't give a fuck. You, and all the sneaky shit that your ass trying to do. You been even on my pimpin', looking for a downfall. And I ain't gon' even hang around y'all. I found y'all niggas to be false and fake assholes for the fame. What they do? They gon' give it up. Put your hand in my shit, I breaks it off. A-ball, yeah. MJG, we don't give a fuck. I got that pimp shit you wanna roll with. Stay in control, stay on your toes with. Never fold with, behold with. Back on the hose with. Eat lunch, change clothes, been rolling on Voline to the side, fold doors with plenty of tint. I got my windows black in. Soon as you ride clean, you let them haters back in. Bitches be acting like soap operas. Fuck you hoes, go and see you a dope doctor. Shit that you tryin', baby, I'm already done with it. You be the fifth, I be the motherfucking one with it. I got my nuts and my guts and my heart in it. Give me a crack and see if I don't put a part in it. From the start in it, we had hard in it to win it. 30 birdies, straight love like tennis. Rhyme minutes, finish all point shavers. Bump and grind until we make our shit major. Until then, you can hit me on the pager. 1-800 Big Ball Hip Hop Savior. Remember that, and we gon' keep it on the cool. Smoking act a fool and take rookies to school. Veteran MC, purple ribbon pedigree. Tennessee MC, Mr. B.I.G. and MJG. Hard from the fucking start, hard from the fucking start. Cause we don't give a fuck. You, and all the sneaky shit that your ass trying to do. You been peeping on my pimpin', looking for a downfall. And I ain't gon' even hang around y'all. I found y'all niggas to be false and fake assholes for the thing. What they do? They gon' give it up. Put your hand in my shit, I breaks it off. A-ball, yeah. MJG, we don't give a fuck. Crossing the sands of Babylon. Point shavers set traps and ambushes. Space age hoes use hypnotic touches and aromas. Extraterrestrial bitches putting tricks in comas. As I hover above the slums, 220 miles per hour, smoking orange juice, sniffing information, loving life. Bitch, I don't give a fuck.
Salute, and welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, so we're getting deep in with your host, the one only Great Black Shark. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and let me know if you can hear your brother loud and clear. Am I coming in crystal clear on the microphone, ladies and gentlemen? Sound okay on my end, but I need to know how it sounds on your end, because tonight we're going to be talking about the white supremacist Sambozo connection. Oh, I know y'all wondering, how in the world could there be a connection? Well, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of it tonight. Or as my uncle likes to say, from the A road to the zero of the matter, we break it down. Okay, because as you saw the thumbnail, I know a lot of y'all are like, oh, GBS, we got to talk about this particular issue with this rancid, may he rest in peace, anti-black racist, white supremacist bastard Hulk Hogan. Yes, we do, because, see, you know, we let white America know that, hey, you can praise him as your hero all you want. Foundational Black American freedmen in our right from mind, we're not going there. We are not in a time where we're going to overlook disrespect towards our people, no matter who it comes from. Okay? We don't even allow within our own lineage, our own Sambozos, okay, etc. They're sure not going to allow it until the class, the white supremacists or the white supremacist adjacent class, all right? So we're going to deal with this Joey Swole guy, okay? Oh, yeah, we're going to deal with him. But see, we're going to talk about this from a solutionary standpoint tonight, okay? Everybody saying that they can hear me loud and clear. Good deal, good deal. I'm glad you can. We're going to be talking about this from a solutionary standpoint tonight because, see, regardless of the antics that he pulled that we're going to get into and analyze completely across the board here tonight, there's a big problem with the Joey Swole types. Now, why do I say types? Because there's plenty of alabaster content creators out here. They come out, you know, and some of them, I've seen a couple of them, from what I can tell, hey, some of them do have some good messages, but we're going to talk about what one of the main problems is with this type of content creator, okay? Because we've seen it before with the Jane Goodalls and et cetera, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, we going to talk about what the main issue is. So just letting y'all know, we're going to hurt some feelings here tonight. We definitely going to talk about the Sambozo connection, because I'm going to take this broadcast in another direction, and you're going to see how everything goes together, all right? You know, I love to thread needles the right way over here. But before we do that, let me greet those of you who are my esteemed guests in here. Let me make sure everyone, okay, hold up. There we go. All right. I see Priscilla Taylor in the building. I see Diesel Mike in here. I see Tanisha Murdoch. I see Wrath in here. What's going on, brother? 225 girl, my good brother Project Leroy, Scotty Jenkins. Welcome, brother. Okay, I see Only Pamela's Way. Michael Williams is in here. Let's see. Derek Parker. I think that's everybody that I see. Look, if you want to be acknowledged, you got to say something. And salute to the good brother, Dom757, for the cash out. People already showing love. Oh, and speaking of that, I mentioned on the last broadcast, I was testing something with the notifications because, you know, look, I tell people all the time, if you're new here, this is one of them channels where, yes, they are going to play with the notifications, shadow ban, even though I don't put out, like, because if you put out like 5 different types of content a day, they only send out like 5 notifications, what have you, okay? More than that. Now, they still shadow ban this channel. I've gotten calls from plenty of people like, damn, brother, I didn't even see the live icon or what have you. You know what I'm saying? So this has been going on because of the type of messaging we have over here. It's not going to change for nobody, okay? We're going to keep the same messaging. But I was testing something out, and I think I got my answer. So I am going to start back putting up the contributors list so everybody contributes to this platform. That's just tradition I have. But from time to time, you have to test certain stuff out with PewTube. I'll probably go into detail about what the issue was on Patreon more. Because, like, you know, when you've been doing this for a while, you have to learn certain things, okay? And I tend to pick up on certain things that a lot of people that have been doing this a lot longer than me don't, okay? So when I see something, I'll test things, make adjustments, etc. So I just may go into detail about that on Patreon, all right? But regarding what we're talking about here tonight, I would be remiss if I didn't honor this. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, happy August 5th. The 2-year anniversary of the Alabama River Brawl. Oh, yeah. Shout out to the chairman of the board and all the brothers and sisters in Alabama that stood on business when them funky, cowardly white supremacists tried to jump that brother for just doing his job. And also shout out to our brothers and sisters in Cincinnati for standing on business, okay? Because see, listen, let me tell you something about my people, Foundational Black American Freedmen. We may have our differences. Our culture is slightly different from region to region, but one thing that we will get on code about is protecting each other, okay? I don't care, man, across the board, from all walks of life, all different education levels, all right? We will get on code to protect each other, all right? And definitely, you know what I'm saying, August 5th is a good reminder of that. Like I said, shout out to the brothers and sisters there in Cincinnati. And we also protect each other by handling our business, coming together when it's time, all right? As far as like outside of just being physical, we definitely can chew gum and walk at the same time. So, you know, we definitely had to take the time to honor this tonight here because, man, let me tell you something, boy. They mad in the motherfucker about this, boy. Because, see, look, let me talk to my people, right? I'm talking to everybody on the sound of my voice, all Foundational Black American Freedmen, men and women, no matter your age, and our own code none FBA brothers and sisters. Because if you're new to this platform and you say to yourself, well, I'm not FBA, do I belong over here? Yes, you do. As long as you're not of the tether class, meaning that you're trying to undermine my people and be disrespectful. If that's not you, you're not a tether. So you're welcome over here. Look, I've got non-FBA moderators over here, longtime supporters of this channel. They'll let you know you're welcome over here if you want code against white supremacy. Now, if you are a person that likes to disrespect my people and you worship whiteness, okay, you a Buck of Bennington or a Winch of Craftington, yeah, you might not belong over here. You're going to be mighty uncomfortable. So I just wanted to let the new subs over here know that. So shout out to all the new subscribers. Welcome to you. But see, back to my message here. For all people on the sound of my voice, you need to mark your occasions in recent history, because see, you know, on this channel for years, we taught about past history, how it correlates to present day. Well, I want to say this to all Foundational Black American Freedmen, especially, okay? And non-FBA people too. You are living history, okay? You, each and every one of you, no matter your age, okay? Yes, young black person, male or female, listen to me. Yes, you that are just now getting started in life. Yes, you that are still trying to figure it out, you are making history as you go, especially when you stand up for yourself, regardless of whether it's physical or not. You are recent living history, and you commemorate that history. You know why? Because, one, it sets a standard, okay? Not just to celebrate it, but it sets a standard and a precedent that you pass down to future generations. So you got to understand something. One of the things that I preach on this channel, being a Gen Xer, for those that don't know, I try to tell people that one of the things that we must do as Gen X is the eldest of the modern generations. We can't make the mistake that some of the boomers made with us, okay? And if you're not a boomer that applies to you, I'm not talking about you. But a lot of the boomers, very selfish, didn't try to help nobody along, didn't want to pass nothing down, very dismissive, some very hateful. So those of us that are Gen Xers, which have a little bit more life experience than some of the millennials and Gen Z, it is our job that if they need us, to be there to help them. And even if we don't understand what they're doing, if you don't like it, okay, if you don't understand it, this is where I tell my people, to my generation, okay? This is what I tell my generation. If you can't help them, don't harm them. Don't stand in their way, okay? The proper mindset should be trying to help the young brothers and sisters if they're trying to do anything positive, but definitely don't stand in their way. So, you know what I'm saying? Whatever they're doing, you might not understand it, might not be for you to understand, but don't step in their way and try to hinder their progress. Because one of the things that I despised about that particular part of the boomer class, boy, some of them, they hated to see those of us who are Gen Xers come up and be successful in certain things if they know that they squandered their opportunities in life and wasted. I'm going to tell you, a sad sack of an existence if you are hating on a young brother or sister because they're being successful, okay? Especially if they're doing it the right way. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't want those in my generation to fall victim to that. Remember what we didn't like about the boomers, okay? All right, and we got to make sure that we don't carry that tradition on, okay? So that's the first thing I want to acknowledge here tonight, okay? Now, in the same spirit of that, before we get underway with the main thing, and let me say this too, if you're not a patient person, why are you taking so long? Well, you can leave here the same way that you came, because over here, I like to talk to my people about things that are relevant and current, right? You don't like that, then this ain't the place for you. All right, you know what to do. But in the same spirit of what I'm saying here, check this out, fam. I want to show you something. Now, I tweeted this August 3rd, okay, this year. And I gotta address this, all right? Because some of the Johnny come latelys and even some of the people that have kind of been around for a while, they tend to think that those of us in new black media spaces in the foundational Black American Freedmen Grassroots, they seem to have this notion that we can't chew gum and walk at the same time. So I'm gonna read this and then I'm gonna make something clear, okay? And whoever can take it however they want to take it, all right? I said, riddle me this. Regarding the boycott of the tether class, operative word class, businesses, where are the short bus crowd getting the idea that FBA people who decide to do so, because you can decide to do whatever you want with your money, are only targeting them and not other disrespectful groups of anti-Black American people? That was my question. Now, let me be clear. When our people, foundational Black American freedmen, take corrective action against anything, if you are of the lineage especially, if you don't want to participate, you ain't got to do it, okay? You do your thing. But like I just said in my admonition to my own generation about treating the younger generations right, when you see the collective of our people trying to do something, don't stand in the way, okay? Now, we can boycott all the disrespectful ethnic groups in this country, the white folks, East Indians, Arabs, Asians, et cetera, et cetera. Where did anybody see that, okay, because some of the brothers and sisters said, hey, you know what, August 1st come, no more giving each other class businesses support. Where the fuck did anybody say that's the only people, huh? See, some people are so quick to speak on things and they kind of slow. And they don't really keep up with stuff that goes on over here in the Black grassroots sector of this, you know, of YouTube and offline. Because see, let me address this as well, okay? For the people that have the we can't chew gum and walk mentality, especially if you new to the Black American grassroots over here, there's a lot of people that you see doing things from state to state. Then there's some people that you don't see, okay? Everybody has different roles to do certain things. And I'm going to tell you one of the things that I despise the most. I despise anybody that has a critique for things, but you ain't going to put no skin in the game, okay? You'll talk about what needs to be done, but when it comes time to move a bag or put some money on something, you ain't nowhere to be found. My audience know I have a long track record of doing that. Fact of business, a lot of brothers and sisters that have worked with me on stuff, they be like, brother, why don't you talk more about this, that, and the third? And y'all know me. I'm not a braggadocious person. I believe in, hey, mission accomplished. That's just something I was taught in my family even before joining the military. I'm like, hey, we'll celebrate for a little while, but all right, back to the drawing board. We got work to do. What's the next mission? That's how I am, okay? But a lot of the people that know me personally and others that I work with, where we try to do what we can, nobody has all the answers, but everybody can do something. Some of these folks that's got this criticism, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of this shit is directed at, you know, some of the younger brothers and sisters I see, some of them, you know, they're going to stay with their name, but Brother Tariq name in their mouth. And even if they do it in a passive aggressive manner, I see that shit. We see it. Again, let me say something. If you ain't put none of your money to bail no brothers and sisters out of jail when they needed it, if you ain't showing up to none of these reparations task force meetings, okay, shout out to the young brothers and sisters that do that. All right, we 2 minutes to name. I get started, man. We'll be here all night. Okay, if you know, got to shout out a couple of them. Afro Elite, Sister Brooke up there in New York. You know what I'm saying? My brother Black Voltron Reloaded. Y'all seen that brother out there over there in California. I mean, look, if I go state by state with some of the brothers and sisters that's on the Black American grassroots out here, everyday people doing the best they can, man, I wouldn't even be able to get into tonight's subject matter. But I'm going to briefly address this. For the people that got all this critique that's doing it in bad faith, where you at? Because see, whether it's at, you know, the rally that Brother Tariq put together or anybody else's event, you don't show up. And they know who they are. They know who we talking to. See, that old passive aggressive bullshit. Let me tell you something, man. And mark my words, this chat room right here is very honest. For any brother or sister in this chat room, for those of you that are familiar with our work over the years over here in these spaces, who you think got the reparations conversation on the national stage? That was brothers and sisters on the foundational Black American grassroots from state to state, from one end of this country to the other. Look, I don't care. A lot of people will come at Brother Tariq because, he coined the term FBA. He's already explained why he did it. Very apropos term. Okay, it's airtight. Some of us tag Friedman on the end because of the legal status. Definitely super airtight then. But see, they come at him and other people that are trying to do the right thing and they're all about getting credit for something. Or, well, I don't like how you did it. You could have did it this way. Okay, fine. No problem. Ain't no leaders over no lineage. Get busy doing something, okay? Any motherfucker can sit back and critique something, but put some skin in the game while you talking. You understand? See, boy, some of these people, man, they're not connected to the Black American grassroots. And we ain't just talking about the Rolling Martins. There's several other people. You're not connected to the Black American grassroots. You don't put foot to pavement. So you tend to think that, okay, because you didn't see something, that's not happening. Our people can chew gum and walk at the same time over here, okay? So if you know where to be found when we putting in work, hey, man, be quiet, bro. Be quiet. Because, see, sooner or later, I don't have to say no names. People going to call you out on that. I'm just letting them know. They know who they are with the passive-aggressive bullshit. Keep on talking like that, and people going to call you out on that. I'm like, hey, man, cool, I hear you. Where you at? Where your receipts at to do shit, huh? Look, even on a small level, and again, I do not like talking about the things I do, but there's been brothers and sisters over here that have hit me up for very things that promote people like, oh, I ain't want nothing to do with that. I'll be like, oh, yeah, I got you. Let me see if I can spread the word about this. Let me put something on it. You know what I'm saying? Because look, one thing about this community over here, if we see that somebody's legit, unlike Umar, yeah, I said it, we're going to support people. That's one thing I really do want to thank my audience for. Y'all show up and show out. If it's something that we verify that's worth doing for people in the community, man, I cannot thank my audience enough, man. Y'all are outstanding. So I try to, this is why I try to, keep myself in good standing with things in the community because, hey, you know what I'm saying? I like to be able to say, if I don't have the answer, hey, maybe somebody in my audience does, Over the years, we've done some pretty good things over here on this platform. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know who you are, brothers and sisters over here. So, salute to y'all. But again, I just wanted to take the time to address that because I've been seeing some little goofy stuff and I'm sitting here like, hey, man, you ain't got nothing going on where nobody can point to other than you talking about something. Man, it's brothers and sisters in this chat room right now that I know I can point out that have put skin in the game, man. You know what I'm saying? Going back a couple of years. Like I said, you saw the last X Space that I did with Dr. Randy Short. A lot of y'all probably didn't know me and him we're over that close, but we are. You know what I'm saying? And don't worry, you probably see Dr. Short showing back up in many of our spaces because, see, one of the things that we do for the people that's always talking about somebody's talking, okay, especially when you don't know what the fuck going on, you ain't never connected to nothing Black grassroots. We talk, then act, okay? Everything ain't gonna be for discussion online. See, that's a lot of people's problems, especially Johnny come latelys, whether it's the Rolling Martins, etc. You think that you're supposed to put all your damn plans laid out online. Nah, that's what meeting up offline for and executing and getting things done. Okay, so now if you are the type of Tweedledee dumbass that like to put everything you do all out there in the open for them people that it applies to, knock yourself out. This is why you spinning your wheels, you don't get nowhere, and then they get frustrated talking about they gonna quit and they gonna give up and all of this. Let me say something about myself, and I know I speak for many, but I'm gonna say this about your brother. And we're going to get started. The reason why you don't hear me talking about giving up and giving out and quitting and, I'm going to quit and all this stuff, let me tell you what drives me, okay? I'm a human being just like everybody else. But one of the things that won't let me quit and give up on my people's condition is because even if I didn't care anything about other foundational Black American freedmen adults, you look at little Black children, little Black boys and girls, in this system of white supremacy, and then you talking about you gonna give up? I can't do it. It's not in my spirit to do that, okay? The other reason why you don't hear me saying that, and like I said, I thank God that I have this gift because some people don't have it. The reason why there's no quit in me I'm gonna tell you why you would never hear me get out up on this platform. Oh, y'all, I quit. I'm down and out. I just can't do nothing. Let me tell you something, man. You got old white supremacists, man, that's senile and in their damn bed going out of here. But they remember how to practice anti-black racism, huh? Now, what we look like when the eldest amongst us are talking about how downtrodden and tired and defeated they are, they gonna give up one day and all this. Hey, man, good luck. Go ahead. Just move out the way, dog. Because, see, the thing about it, the elders have to sacrifice. The eldest generations, a part of manhood especially, is sacrificing for the younger generations. And if you ain't got that in you, move out the way, man. Go ahead, bro. Because, see, it's going to get down to a time where we're going to see that. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of things are changing very, very rapidly in this country. And we're going to see who the men from the boys are very soon, okay? So, for them people that fit the criteria, everything I just stated, hey, man, just move out the way and go do whatever you're going to do. We'll handle it from here, all right? So now that I've gotten my rant out the way, I just had to get it off my chest, man, because, boy, some of these jokers, boy, they showing their true colors in these times, man. If you're scared, say you're scared, man. Should we start handing out pacifiers, family? Should we? Salute to the good brother, Mr. Sam, Dad Miller TV. I see you. Maybe we need to get some pacifiers for him, a pacifier fund or something. I don't know. But we're going to go ahead and get started with our subject matter here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So now, for those of you that don't know, the white boy on the thumbnail, yes, I said white boy for a reason. His name is Joey Swole. Now, he's, one of these fitness instructor guys. And claim to fame was, calling out certain stuff in these gyms where you see a lot of these little Instagram thotties trying to go to gyms where men are. Oh, my God, this creep is looking at me, this, that, the third, and all of that. Okay, I'll applaud anybody for calling that out. But, yes, there's a but, family. You have to understand that people in the dominant society, and this is what I was taught from an early age, so I'm not one to really succumb to that. And I thank goodness for my upbringing and my training on this. You got to understand that they're still in the dominant society. Are all white people white supremacists? No, not at all. That would be an asinine statement to make. Are most of them in America white supremacists? Yes. Yes, most, meaning anything over 50%. You damn right they are, because if they wasn't, and look, let's just say this for the white folks listening. How could he say that? White folks, listen to me, because I know you're over here to see what the blacks are doing. Let me tell you something. If what I just said wasn't true, you wouldn't have an unequal system of white supremacy and anti-black racism here today if the white supremacists were the minority across the board in every functioning capacity of this society, okay? We would have had reparations a long time ago. Anytime anything happened unjust to anybody, most of y'all people would be speaking up against it, and it wouldn't just be for your own kind, okay? That's not the reality. So, hey, tough titty New York City, if you don't like that, that's the truth. This is America. We see what we live in. There's a small percentage of you that are not that way, but that does not speak for the whole. So now, we're going to address how black people get confused, okay? Because as the ancestor, Neely Fuller Jr. always said, you don't understand racism and white supremacy, everything else will confuse you, all right? One of the things that confuse some black folks is we'll hear some white people, there's a demographic amongst us, that'll hear some white people saying some good things, even doing some good things. But you really do yourself a disservice when you forget that it's still a white person. They have a different worldview than us. They had a different upbringing than us. They see this country completely different than us. We love this country for different reasons than them, okay? You got to understand where their position in society is. They're at the top of the food chain, and they're going to always cover for each other no matter what kind of mistakes they make. We've seen the injustice that they uphold and look the other way on, and then we'll have the nerve to go and sit up in their so-called buildings and claim they're Christians, okay? So I just want to put this in context. So now we're going to work in reverse here. We're going to play this message from Joey Swole because, for a minute, hey, shout out to the family, boy. Y'all was letting him have it with his antics that we're going to review here later. Boy, y'all ran him off for a minute, but see, you got to understand something. The white supremacists are in a different time now. They're in a time period now where it's like, hey, listen, this is our last stand. We can't let these people run us off from here. Okay, so if they start talking about calling us out, we got to stand our ground. And look, I don't blame them. Because this is it. Them little struggle genes and the little birth rates, boy, they are steady swirling the drain, man. It ain't nothing we could do about it. We wanted to. But I want to play this message for y'all here. And I'm gonna let him get this off his chest here. Then we're going to go ahead and get started dissecting some things.
Love me or hate me, I am not going anywhere, and you are not going to cancel me. I just needed a few days to step back, to breathe, to get my mind right. And over those few days, I received thousands and thousands of messages from people telling me, do not quit. How much I help and inspire them, including messages giving me a good kick in the ass that I needed to get back up. So I am not quitting, and I am done apologizing. I'm going to continue making videos calling out bullies, being a voice for the people that can't defend themselves, and making the gym community and the world a better place, as I have done for years.
All right, you heard Mr. Joey. He say he is done apologizing. You heard that, family? Oh, boy, little old Joey Swole say he is done apologizing. Now, some of you, you're on the rock somewhere, you probably say, well, GPS, what, pray tell, was he apologizing about? Well, as the thumbnail shows there, you know, he has some stuff to say about his hero, Hulk, anti-black racist. May he rest in peace, Hogan, okay? And fuck his family, too. Yeah, I'm still on that. Yeah, it's that type of energy over here. He had some praise to give him, like most of white America, because like I said, most of them are white supremacists, or they would not be carrying on and holding up that vile anti-black racist. Now, I have to thank you, Joey Swole. Oh, yes, I thank you. You say you're done apologizing. Good, because what do I teach y'all about apologies on this platform? They ain't worth two dead flies put together. Nobody give a fuck about your apology. Nobody in their right frame of mind. Now, sadly, there's some of our people for different reasons, okay? Misuse and misunderstanding of religion. You think you're supposed to forgive any and everybody when the adversaries that want to wipe you out, they don't see it that way. I got a broadcast coming up on Patreon about that in a couple of days. We're going to get deep into that. But see, I'm glad that you're done apologizing. Because my people need to get that out of their system about, okay, somebody go and do some egregious wrong to us. And then they come out, well, you know, I apologize for that. Whether it's Vlad TV, Joey Swole, whoever, ask yourself, what the fuck can you do with an apology? In 2025, if an apology is not attached to any tangibles, family, what can you do with an apology? See, in particular, I tell all of our people that, but particularly the sisters, you have to get that drilled into your head that these people talking about they apologize. What the fuck can you do with that? Other than it make you feel good? What the hell can an apology do for any of our people? See, a lot of people find me very cruel, somewhat hard, but yes, my people are in dire straits. And if you're a man and you recognize what's going on, it's your job to call that shit out and course correct or be instrumental in course correction when you see flaws in the logic of people. We should save our forgiveness and compassion for each other. Not these people outside of our lineage and our demographic here, definitely not the white supremacists. Now, why am I calling them white supremacists? Because, see, you're going to see, and I played that in the beginning for a reason, you see how he's defiant, swole white man. Doubling down. He's done apologizing. You can't cancel him. I'm like, man, we don't give a fuck about your apology. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want him canceled. Oh, no. Y'all know my policy on this platform. White supremacists, look, this is one thing that I really like about the platform Rumble, okay? They let everybody have their say unless you just do something illegal or so vile they got to kick you off. I don't want white supremacists censored. I don't want no Confederate statues taken down, no streets renamed. Why? Because young people need to see that when older people like myself and others call out anti-black racism, if all of them were canceled and they were silenced, if them Confederate statues were taken down, they just hid everything, they would think we're crazy. They need to see in 2025 that, yes, anti-black racism and white supremacy is still a problem for you young black person in this country, okay? So now we're going to get into some of the things that Mr. Joey Swole say he is not going to apologize for, family. Oh, he tell us he going to stand 10 little alabaster toes down. Good. I want you to do it because, see, now I get the point and use your punk ass and show the younger black Americans in this country. You see this? This is in your peer group. This is not an old 60, 70-year-old white man. This is a young white man saying the things that he was saying, taking the stance that he says, okay? So that's why I don't want any of them to go nowhere. See, and let me say this too before we get further. You have a lot of black people that when they hear somebody talking like me or saying that, why would you say that, man? They scared. No, I'm not a scary Negro because, see, you don't get any education from hiding the truth. The truth has to be front and center before you can analyze it and learn from it. And it's paramount that our younger generations have the opportunity to do so, not because I told them so or you told them so, but because they can look out in the world and see exactly what we were talking about and say, oh, okay, yeah, the old heads weren't making that up. This is exactly what I got to deal with. You understand? See, the reason why they want to erase history is so that they can have a group of young foundational Black American and non-FBA brothers and sisters that are disarmed to the fact that you still in a white supremacist nation. Because, see, if you're not aware of the threat, if they can dumb things down and pacify you with entertainment, get you thinking that, okay, it's all kumbaya through whatever means, okay, that they use, like I said, entertainment, media, definitely the misuse of religion. Yes, I said misuse for a reason, okay? If they can get you to forget that this ever-present threat is around you at all times and it's systematic, you're vulnerable to it. You are very vulnerable to it if you act like you don't know what's going on, okay? That's the main reason why they invest so much into taking the history out of schools, etc. And that falls upon us as Black parents to make sure these children understand what time it is and what they're dealing with, okay? So we're going to get started analyzing some more things here about Mr. Joey Swole. We're going to be stopping this where need to be to point some things out. Because, see, we're going to get to the expressing what the other half of that problem is with people like him, and we're going to talk solutions. Let's get into it.
I owe my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology. A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of listening and understanding like I should have, I became defensive and said that I was posting to celebrate the wrestling icon, the person that so many of us looked up to as kids that we grew up with, that made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to...
Let me go ahead and pause them right here, okay? Because now y'all already know I covered this before, but see, this is an opportunity to further thread a needle on this and double down on the same thing that I said before and add something to it. Family, there should never be anything in the life of a foundational Black American freedman, man or woman, that we are so enamored with and just are so fond of when it comes to them disrespecting us as a people. I don't care if it's the white supremacists, the tethers, the white adjacent supremacists, whoever you want to name. The minute that you disrespect who we are, it's fuck you and everything you stand for if you're in your right frame of mind. Now, why do I say this? Because you got to understand something. You better look at recent history here in America. If they even assume that we've done something offensive, notice I said the word assume, not that we did anything. Oh boy, it's on for life. We forever guilty. Look at what they did as far as the small hat community with Kyrie Irving. He posted a link, didn't say anything. Oh, gotta get him. They don't forgive us like that. You can go through their so-called justice system and be found innocent of something. You forever guilty. O.J. Simpson, oh, he guilty from the day he walked out of that courtroom to the day he died. Okay? You don't get to make honest mistakes and them allow you to walk away with your life. Okay? They don't do that. From the race soldiers, okay, from the executive branch, judicial branch, okay, all the way down. We don't get any type of grace. The legislative branch, we don't get any grace in any area of government at all. Not in academia. Hell, they don't even cut out little Black kids any grace. In school, you see, they want to beat up and fight on our Black children. They think there's not any men to advocate for them. You understand? So for these people who show no grace towards us, who in the fuck are they to ask for grace from us, from a vile anti-Black racist like Hulk Hogan or anybody that thought so lowly of our people as if we wasn't even human? See, sometimes you have to really analyze that shit and get out your feelings talking about, well, they did apologize. No, man, that's something that they use to catch the gullible amongst us off guard so they can keep victimizing you. But see, when you close the door and be like, okay, maybe you are, but I'm done dealing with you in any type of way, whether that's an economic boycott, whether that's publicly denouncing them and making sure that everybody else in your community and your family understand what they are. Yes, I said what, not who, because these motherfuckers are not human. These are demons in human skin. Even this bastard here on the screen. Yes, I'm saying that because I'm going to get the why. Okay? So that's what I want my people to understand. Because see, you got to understand that a part of their system is getting things mentally ingrained in us to the point where we have to struggle to say, hey, well, you know, this person or that entertainer or whoever athlete, oh, but they did this, they did that. I'm like, nope, none of that has any value before my people and my lineage, okay? That's the proper frame of mind to be in with that, but we're going to let him continue.
The extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible, horrible things that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended. I am sorry.
Now, white man, okay, Joey Swole, as you call yourself, and I'm talking beyond Joey Swole to any white person in America. You're not going to sit here and tell me in 2025 that you didn't know anything about why people were telling you Hulk Hogan was that, because I know you saw the comments saying the man was a racist. Look, this is why I don't buy what he's saying, because I know some people are like, well, maybe he didn't know, because you know it's always going to be them few. I'm going to tell you how I know that he's full of shit. An intelligent person, because you know they tell us they have these high IQs, right? Isn't that what they tell us? They say that they have these legendary, astronomically high IQs. Okay, this is what they claim. For you to be a part of the high IQ community, seems to me that if you would have saw first 15, 20 comments on whatever video talking about his anti-black racism, you was like, you know what? Let me do a little bit of research and see what they're talking about and see if there's any validity to what my audience is saying. Because if you value all of your audience, right, that's what an intelligent person would do, okay? But you didn't do that. So if we're to believe you and take you at face value, Mr. Swoll, okay, that means that you got muscles everywhere, but except for the one in the head upstairs there. You can't be the sharpest knife in the drawer, okay? So either you're stupid or you're lying, okay? I don't give a damn which, but we gonna make sure the people over here understand tonight. You can be either stupid or lying. You might be both, okay? But I'm gonna put you in the category that you knew, you did know, okay? And then you didn't think that the smoke was gonna be so hard on your ass because see, Mr. Swoll, you and all of white supremacist America, you better understand something. No matter who you have in that presidential office, there's a foundational Black American renaissance going on right now. And our people are not putting up with disrespect within our lineage from our own sellouts and traitors, nor without our lineage, okay? With to the class or you white supremacists. Everybody getting the smoke, okay? Everybody getting it. See, a lot of people, family, not on just this issue, but many others, they're taken aback at how on code we are with a unified voice about what we're not going to tolerate. Now, you have some of the ignorant people that think that, okay, all y'all just saying that online. Oh, really? Got a question for my audience over here. Family, if we were just talking online, would we see all of these different occurrences offline? The brothers and sisters up there defending themselves in Cincinnati. You got brothers and sisters all across this nation. You see different videos where these white supremacists go and try it and then they get their asses whooped. Okay. Then you see brothers and sisters standing on political business. Shout out to Chicago, California, New York, right here in Georgia, all across the nation. You got brothers and sisters unified on handling foundational Black American business, okay? Across the board. Sometimes cameras are not in every place. Sometimes cameras shouldn't be in certain places when certain business is being handled. But see, some people don't have the sense enough to understand that. They're kind of slow. They're not involved in anything, so they wouldn't know about that, okay? So now, if we was just online talking, you wouldn't see this shift in the consciousness of our people and the dynamics that are at play here. It would just be the same old, huh? Remember how at a certain point in time, hey, something happened in this country, people just lackadaisical about it. It's like, a little bit of dust to get raised, and then that was the end of that. Nah, see, what these people are afraid of, they're afraid of that remnant energy from that 2020 uprising when they murdered George Floyd like that. Because see, it was deeper than George Floyd. A lot of them talking about, oh, you look at George Floyd as a hero. No, we're like, we don't give a damn who it is. You're not going to unjustly murder anybody in the Black American community like that, and we not kick up dust and raise hell about that shit. That's what we were saying. Because, see, the white supremacists, they killed, and this is another thing to let you know that they don't have any justice attached to them and definitely not anywhere close to being Christians or whatever they claim. The white supremacists kept going on. They do this with anybody. They started bringing up whether it was Jordan Neely or George Floyd. Well, they had this record, they had that record to justify them being unjustly murdered. But now if you try to apply that same logic to any of them, even if you don't kill them, just them getting the ass whooping, like in Cincinnati and that Alabama River Brawl, okay, 2 years ago. They don't start talking about the white people that had criminal records then and saying, oh, okay, well, you know, them black people should have the right to defend themselves. Look at the criminal record they had. No, they don't care about none of that. And notice, when nobody got killed in the last two things that I was just saying, you just got your ass whooped. So, you know what I'm saying? They want to justify prior things and when they unjustly murder somebody like the cowards they are, but they never reciprocate that when it comes to us defending ourselves. I just want y'all to be aware of that, because I know most older people over here get it, but we need younger black people to understand that as well. All right? So now, Mr. Swoll here, he claims that he didn't know about Hulk Hogan's anti-black racist rants. Want y'all to see where he's finna go with a lot of this, man, because, boy, we going to get to something in a minute here. I'm pretty sure some of y'all already seen it. You're going to see why I'm finna go in on his punk ass in a minute. Let's let it continue.
Also, during last night's live stream, I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that, which I...
Yep. And we're going to get to that too. But see now, look. Again, Swoll, either you're a liar or you're stupid or a combination of the two. And I think it's a combination of the two. But let's just say I believed you. Yeah, we gonna go here because there's a devil in front of us, so we're gonna play devil's advocate. Okay, yes, I'm going there. Joey, if we are to take you at face value, then that means that you too, sir, must come from an anti-black racist family. Because see, that must mean that people in your family was running around calling us coloreds and all other kind of stuff. Because in 2025, how could your big, goofy, pale ass not know that it's not okay to refer to us as coloreds and blacks or the blacks? Because, you know, you see that. And look, we see that over here on this channel. It's two types of people that do that shit. When it comes to that particular term, the blacks are blacks. All right. You have the tethers because they hear white people referring to us as that. So they think that because the white folks say that, that's what we call ourselves. And then, of course, the white supremacists. See, the tether class, they fit the phrase monkey see, monkey do. Whatever they see white folks do, they just follow along with it. And they think that, okay, the white people, what they say is the standard, and this is what we supposed to follow. Got bad news for you, tether class. We don't get down like that over here. Not those that are the foundation of Black American freemen in our right frame of mind. You better go find your Jesse Lee Petersons and your Larry Elders for that, okay? The greater majority of us, we not on that type of time. That's you that everything them Alabama people tell you, you run with it like it's the gospel. Okay, now back to Mr. Swoll here. That means that you grew up in a family where people were saying that, and that was tradition. All right, because how else could you be around other black folks? You don't hear other black people referring to ourselves as colored people, huh? And see, at this point, I know you got to be trolling. You got to be. You know what I'm saying? Because he might be a world-class alabaster dumbass when it comes to this, but come on, man. You being basically trying to be disrespectful in front of my people's face. But he said something here that we always try to warn those over here in these spaces not to do. He's one of them white people that try to tell you that, oh, somebody educated me. Now, listen, how you going to educate them, the creators of white supremacy, on what white supremacy is? That's just like you going to Mercedes and you telling them that you're going to tell them more about the damn car that they manufacture. The people that created, you're going to go and tell them something that they don't know about your car. Huh? You see what I'm saying? But look, let me say this also. This is something that very few foundational Black American freedmen fall for, okay? Unless they mostly in that bed buck or bedwitch class, but a lot of you tethers fall for that. They can get you talking in circles and talking about, well, I don't understand. Educate me. That's somebody playing in your face, man. Basically pissing in your face and telling you it's yellow rain. And they'll sit there and play with you like that. And this is why we laugh at that to the class. We'll be like, man, you sit there and let them folks play with you like that in front of your face, and then you gonna come try to tell us something as if you know something? That's the funniest shit ever. That's why I be like, man, get your goofy ass up out of here, man. But see, those of us with sense, we don't play that educate me crap with white. Look, let me tell you something. I'm not the only person that have said this. When it comes to white folks talking about educate me, the only way you do that, be like, okay, it's a fee for it. You're going to have to drop a bag for me to educate you on anything. And I'm not the first person to even tell you that. Many of us tell you, if they come to you talking about educate me, you be like, okay, can you afford my fee? Because there's a fee for education, okay? You got to pay the tuition to get educated, all right? Watch how fast they change their tuned in. Because, see, I love when you really call them on their bullshit. Because, see, that's the whole thing. The punchline is them insulting you and you not catching the joke. That's the whole thing with white supremacy. All right, they try to say little slick shit around you. They think you don't know what it means, all that kind of stuff. That's the whole thing, okay? The punchline and the payoff to the joke is you're not supposed to be aware of it, all right? So you tell them, hey, no, it's a tuition for education, and watch them little alabaster faces turn red. Oh, I love it, okay? That always my fucking time. My time is valuable, so you're going to pay me if I educate you on anything. So let it continue.
I immediately apologized to everyone and said I would never do that again. So once again, to anybody that I offended, I am sorry. My whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable and doing better. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't hold myself to the same standards. I am human. I am still growing. I am still learning. And I promise all of you, I will do better. I have nothing but love and kindness in my heart. I will continue to try to make the world a better place. And once again, to everybody, I apologize.
Let me stop this asshole right here, okay? Family, you know what a lot of the problem is with some of our people, because, see, I had to go ahead and call it the main issue, because, you got a lot of goofy tether class. They're going to fall for any white person. Oh, my God, this is a kind white person. But amongst foundational Black Americans, we got to call out the main demographic that will listen to this bullshit. And I ain't going to call no names. I ain't trying to put nobody on blast. But if you go to this son of a bitch's X page right now and just look at his following list, you'll be surprised who you see following this bastard. And I got to call him out. It's a lot of our women. You go see this fucking white boy here. Basically, he's the vanilla version of Derrick Jackson, just doing a different spiel. And you all enamored with how he look. Oh, listen to what the white boy is saying. And then you go and fall for this bullshit. But then all of a sudden, if you give them time, they true alabaster, anti-Black racist colors come on out. And look, I ain't leaving some of the goofy Negroes out there following too. Man, he a cool white boy. Again, they don't like when we reference this, but I'm going back to the movie Sinners. You better be very careful about these people amongst us, family, because some of them, if we were in that scenario in that movie, they would be the motherfuckers that let them in. Man, they the cool white folks. Let them on in, man. Come on, man. They would go ahead and do that. I'm telling you. You understand? So see, for me, I told y'all, man, I don't view stupidity as a cute thing. That's a liability. I don't play that. I get the fuck out from around stupid people that I can identify. I'm not trying to save you at this point, especially you grown. I have more tolerance for a younger person that doesn't know any better, but then that has its limits. Because if it gets to the point that your stupidity is going to become a jeopardy to me, my people in my community, my family, I got to cut you loose, man. You got to go out there with Remick, okay? Go on out there. If you want to go, I can't stop you, but you're not going to invite the motherfucker in here. And that brings me to my point, addressing the community as a whole. When are we going to stop inviting for these folks, inviting them to the cookout? Didn't Dr. John Henry Clark and many others tell us about that shit? This cookout shit. It's always some Negro or Negress in our community looking to invite one of these motherfuckers here to a goddamn cookout. For what? They ain't even bringing nothing to the cookout. Just, hey, I'm looking for the white person to invite to the cookout. For what? Okay, you said a couple things, tickle your damn ears. Some of you might be enamored with them, but that means you got to come and sit down at this table that we prepared and put food on. And the only thing you're going to do is take off the table. Look at TikTok, how they just stay stealing Black content creators' innovative ideas, huh? Oh, we're going to get deep in this tonight. We're going to thread a whole bunch of needles. I'm going to make a lot of people mad, but I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm here to do. You better listen to the intro on this goddamn song, okay, on this broadcast. Listen, man. When it comes to this bastard right here, too many of our people are too trusting of these types of individuals. They come out, oh, I'm here to force everybody to do better and be held accountable. I tell you a conversation I bet his punk ass won't have. He won't have no discussion about racism and white supremacy in this country. I bet you he won't have that conversation. Because, see, all that bullshit that came out them little pink, thin earthworm lips, because, see, I'm immune to the bullshit, okay? Foundational Black American freedom man from the South, for those of you that new here that don't understand that, okay? Let me tell you something. I'm looking at the fact that you use the word colored. How in the hell you gonna be about all this accountability and all this righteousness that you talking about when that word came out your mouth? You had to pick that up from somewhere. Don't tell me that your family didn't use that term, Mr. Swoll, because you don't just get words out of thin air. See, I get it that they tell you all, or you profess to be the high IQ people, but all of us know that your language development skills, that starts in your home. And usually your mother is going to be the first person that teaches you. You get your accent from your mother, okay? And the household that you raised in from there, by the time that you reach your formative years and you start hearing things, that's in your household. So for me, let me tell you something, family. And you know, I've been right about a lot of this kind of stuff over the years. I wouldn't be surprised if more things come out about this guy, man, than just the stuff that he did. Oh, no, give it time. It's going to come out. Some of you will probably find it and send it to me. Give it time. That's coming from somewhere. You understand? That's coming from somewhere. And see, again, I'm gonna thread another needle. You better understand that when the white supremacists can't fool you, they get angry. That's why I played that clip at the beginning where he was talking about, oh, I stepped away for a couple of days. I'm done apologizing. Oh, get furious then, boy. Yeah, that's what I like. I like you to draw it on out. You be what you really are. Because, see, unfortunately and sadly, for some of our people, you can't see what's right here on this screen in front of you when he talking all calm and talking about apologies and accountability and doing better. You can't see the threat behind this motherfucker. I see right through his ass. I do. Because there's been too many like him. I keep saying this. I'm one of the main people that keep telling you pattern recognition is essential to the survival of the foundational Black American freedman man and woman in this country. Okay? You better start learning to think and recognize patterns. For those of you that will see these types of white folks, well, you know, they said a couple good things, and I don't think he would do that. All right. you be the one to sit there and think that way, and then sooner or later, they show their true colors all the time. We ain't done yet, though. We gonna go further. We gonna go further. Oh, we finna go further. Yes, we are indeed. We finna play now the moment where he was talking about how he sees us as colors. How many of y'all knew that, family? Did y'all know that? We colors again. We colors. That's right. I ain't say colored. I say colors. That's right. You got to put some twang on it. We colors. And Mr. Sam, what's going on, my good brother? Did you know we were colors? You and Mrs. L, Steel Kevin Trees, Tanisha. Did y'all know we was back to being colors? Only Pamela's way. That's right. According to Joe, we colors, right? Ain't no black, ain't no foundational Black American, no colors. I want y'all to listen what old Joey Swole was about to say here, okay? Because I'm gonna really get on that little old tan, alabaster ass here in a minute. Because I'm not done. I'm not done by side. Let's let it continue.
Supporting racism. I've literally done videos against racism. I bought a black girl a gym membership that was being discriminated against at the gym. People are attacking. This is the internet, guys. People only love you until they can find something to try and tear you down about. And that's okay. Who is posting about the fact that I said, God, I didn't mean anything bad by saying colored. I didn't mean anything bad by that. So if that was wrong, I apologize. Somebody already.
See, again, I like the way he did this. And look, let me say it again. I am not being facetious. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate you for doing this. I do. Because my people need to see this bullshit in real time. Because a lot of times when we tell our folks about this, they think we're just being hyperbolic or exaggerating. We're not. No. He said that he didn't think referring to Black people in 2025 as color was wrong. You lying son of a bitch. When have you heard other Black people running around calling ourselves colored? Because see, he would have an argument to make then if he heard a bunch of us running around calling ourselves colored. Oh, you would have somewhat of a leg to stand on. But look, Unless it's some tether somewhere doing that, and that wouldn't surprise me about they punk asses. Okay? But those of our lineage, we ain't running around talking about colors. Y'all know I'm hell about that bullshit over here. In case you a new subscriber, all that, the blacks and black shit, we don't refer to ourselves as that because it might be some subscribers over here from another country. Hello, subscribers from other countries. How you doing? Welcome. Over here on the Black Ocean, because there's been comments made, the blacks and blacks, we don't call ourselves blacks or the blacks. We not in no fucking Jim Crow. You say black folks or black people. This is how we know you're a white supremacist or one of the tether class. Because we don't talk like that, okay? I don't know where the fuck some of them come from, but we don't talk like that. And we damn sure don't refer to ourselves as colors either, okay? But see, the other thing here that I noticed he tried to do, because we're going to get surgical with this, he started talking about he did something for this black chick or whatever, got a jail membership or something like that. Okay, I want y'all to catch the strategy with that. Because it's bigger than him, not just him. I want you to catch the strategy when any of them try this, especially the males, though. They'll always talk about something they did for a black woman, but you don't ever hear them talk about what they did for black men. You know why? Let me go in and point it on out. Most users over here are smart enough to catch this, but I got to tell the truth and shame the alabaster devil over here tonight. Reason why they do that, ladies, they know you the weak link with some of you. Some of you, because look, he got his little arms out there. He know that turns some of y'all on. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, yeah, I always talk about I've been a friend of black women and all of that. You better understand that this boy ain't family. He ain't a part of our lineage, our bloodline. Because he really, let me tell you, some of them have gotten smarter because the first iterations of the Joey Swole types, because there have been many before him, the first iterations of the Joey Swole types, they would do that kind of stuff, and then they would, let that shit go to their head and start trying to interject themselves into our business and wagging their finger at black men. And that's when, some sisters snap out and be like, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We got problems with them now, but you can't do that. So some of them learn to tone that shit down. You know what I'm saying? And from what I can understand, I don't think he has any content wagging his finger at black men. Y'all could, if I'm wrong, correct me. Definitely send it to me because I'll go in on that too. But see, that's a strategy. And see, again, this is what I try to do here on this platform. And that's why I don't sugarcoat things, all right? I want all of our sisters, whether you agree or disagree with me, etc., I want you to be aware of these white supremacist mental tactics that they use. They play on your emotions. They see if they can manipulate you with things to get you distracted from, okay, wait a minute. No, this is a problem that you got going on here. All right? Because see, look, I apply this to the whole of our people. Let's go back to when Jim Crow Joe Biden was on the Breakfast Club and he was talking about, hey, if you don't vote for me or Trump, you ain't black. That right there let you know that we still have a ways to go with some of our people as far as their collective self-esteem, because no other candidate in my lifetime have I ever seen go and tell any other demographic of people that other than black folks. You got to understand, family, a part of loving yourself, and see, a lot of people find me cruel for this, but see, I have proper self-esteem and respect for our lineage. There has to be a line of demarcation, okay, a line in the sand, where if certain people cross that outside of our lineage, you ain't no coming back from that, baby. Let me tell y'all something, man. Right now, to this day, there's certain things as far as like clothing or items that once I found out it was some anti-black racism attached to it, I was like, oh man, fuck all of this shit. I don't buy any of it. Got rid of it. You know what I'm saying? Out of my closet. I don't know. I'm serious about it, okay? Hey, boy, it take people that know me personally to tell you that, hey, listen, if I find out that it's a brand of clothing I was wearing or patronizing some business, you ain't for my people, I'm not for you. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate you being loud and proud about it. Look, I want more of them to do that. You understand me? I want more of them to come on out and let us know how you really feel, okay? Say what's on your little alabaster anti-black racist hearts. I don't want you censored. I'm one of the last people you be like, hey, take their platform down. I'm like, no, you don't. Leave that motherfucker up. Hey, man, continue. Continue saying what you were saying and say it loud and clear and make sure you let my people know who you talking to. I'm that guy. See, because that's the only way that you get to identify a problem and start solving it and make people get up off their ass and pay attention. Be like, okay, you can't hide. You can't be ambiguous about it. This is a problem. They talking to you. What you gonna do about it? Whether it's an economic boycott or whatever it need to be. Huh? So I appreciate him for this. Let's let him continue.
He educated me on that. But if that's what you want to be upset with me about, I don't know what you want me to say. I didn't mean anything by it. There was nothing racist about that. Wow, I said that. Good for you.
And see, I'm going to show you something else here in this clip. I really want you to look at his eyes, right? Because you can see him starting to get angry about this. The white folks love to tell us, the white supremacists love to tell us what's not racist. You don't get to dictate that to us, with those of us with sense, okay? Foundational Black American freedmen, men and women that have sense, you can't dictate those terms to us about what's anti-Black racist and what's not. Only a fool would let their adversary determine what is a threat to them or what is not. You understand me? Only a fool would do that. I don't let my adversaries define what's safe for me and what is a threat to me and what is not. Not if you have any common sense. And I feel bad for any man that's a head of a household that does operate that way. Your entire family is in danger if you fit the criteria that I just described there. So see, his comments, I guess, will light him up because this appears that he did this on Instagram. And he ain't like that. Look at them little beady ass eyes, man. Look at him. Oh, boy, he is furious, boy. They don't like it when you tell them and check them on shit because, see, they're so used to defining things for people. They are so used to defining things for people, and they're used to just, okay, whatever the white person say, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you just gonna go with it. Nah, them days are over. You're not dealing with them types of Black folks. You're not trying to have no round table discussion with you and debate about shit. But see, look, that's another thing, too, that brings me to. You have a lot of them when they play these kinds of games. The other way that they keep you on the mental, you know what I'm saying, hamster wheel going in circles. Well, let's have a debate, dude. I'm like, I'm not going to debate you about something that I know. I'm not going to waste my time debating you. That's just another time-wasting tactic. It's a distraction tactic. It's something that where they can talk in endless circles. And look, let me get to the real meat of a debate. Because if I'm a debate with anybody, it'll be my own people. Now, I will do that. We can hold civil discourse on certain things. But as far as debating them, it's not that I can't do it. I'm aware of that tactic that they use because, see, you got to understand something. This is something that a lot of people probably have never talked about when it comes to that debate tactic. Beyond wasting time, you know what the white supremacists use debates as? Because, see, you got to understand. These people use everything in the system of white supremacy as warfare. The greatest target, the greatest acquisition in a cold warfare situation to capture is the adversary's mind, your target's mind. Now, why am I saying this? I want y'all to listen very carefully to this and really think on what I'm about to tell you. When you waste time debating white supremacists, you and we could go into listening to that debate or engaging in it and knowing what the truth is. But they're relying on the younger people that will hear that debate on whatever platform that are not as educated on certain things as we are. And they'll be like, I got one. You understand? I'm going to say it again. The other tactic that you don't really hear people talking about with these debates, when they bait you into debating with them and talking in circles, they're counting on younger Black people that are not as well informed to hear that and say, well, they did kind of make a point. Because, see, they'll go back on their platforms and they'll edit things, cut stuff out. And then you think about your young foundational Black American freedman child, okay, especially if you're not on your job teaching them what they should know. They go and listen to a Joey Swole or a Jane Goodall or whoever. And then they come out with a warped sense of logic in a country where if you don't understand this system, it puts their very lives in jeopardy. You understand? See, I think a little deeper than that. See, this is why they don't like me. Those of us that are brothers and sisters in the military that came out without buck dancing and stuff, we try to bring this type of mindset to our people. Because, see, that's one thing that I ain't finna argue with nobody about. I understand what warfare is up close and personal. I understand how it operates. And I understand strategy as far as warfare. I'm not somebody to just talk about it hyperbolically. I have experience with it. You understand? And one of the greatest things, and one of the greatest tools in any military's box is not just the weapons that they have physically at their disposal. It's psychological warfare. You understand? See, let me give it to you this way for the people that might not grasp what I'm saying, that might be new here or new to this type of thought process. If you have a standing military, okay? All your troops are well trained. You got plenty of ammunition. You got the latest in weaponry and technology. You got the latest in communications. You got it all. You got aircraft, armored vehicles, whatever you need, you got it. If you find a way to conquer an adversary without deploying any of that, without putting your troops at risk, don't you know that the psychological warfare option is the most efficient way? Do you understand? See, I'm not telling you anything that governments around the world don't practice. If there's an option for you to get your goal accomplished, secure victory, without having to engage in actual combat, that's the option you want to take, okay? You better think about Sun Tzu when he said the greatest victory is earning that without fighting. There's several variations on that. Supreme victory is victory when you win without having to fight. And see, this is why I often tell y'all over the years that information is the most valuable currency on the planet, because you have to have information to maintain and attain money and respect. Okay, those are other two components of actual power. When you got the mastery and control of information, look at the mass media around the world, not just in America. When you got mastery and control of money, and definitely when you have respect, which opens doors that money cannot. When you got all three of those in equal tandem and you're a master at using them, that's when you're truly powerful. You understand? There have been wars started and stopped with mere words or psychological tactics alone. You understand? For those of you that know your military history, you can name several. Understand? So see, when I look at a Joey Swole, he ain't just the goofy white boy to me that's up here calling us colored. No. I'm looking at it far deeper than most people would. But see, you got some slow people. Even though I just broke that down in the simplest of terms, they won't get that. They'll sit back and try to make some type of passive-aggressive argument against it. I'm like, okay, dumb. See, most of my audience over here, when I tell you this and you go back and look at certain situations, I can't count over the years how many people, brothers and sisters of all different age ranges, come back and say, you know what, brother? You were right about that. I see that. I wasn't thinking about it this way until you broke that down. You understand? But look, I'm at peace with it. You ain't going to be able to save or help everybody. But while I have this platform, I'm going to use it in a way that's most beneficial to my people's mindsets. So let it continue.
So it's okay to say person, because somebody earlier that was a minority was saying person of color. So it's okay to say person of color. Talk. How about have a conversation with me? I'm a love.
Now, you heard him there because he wants to refer to us as colored. I got a question for my audience, okay? Family, do you think that he would go before the Jewish community and use something offensive to them and then be sitting there talking about educate me, have a conversation with me? Do you think the Jewish community will put up with that and allow that? I'm going to go there because look, one thing about me, I'm going to give that Jewish community credit about their stances on certain things, even though I don't agree with a lot of that exaggerated stuff that they do, especially when they try to scapegoat us. But one thing that I will say that we can take a page from with them is having a zero tolerance for being disrespected, okay? I got to give it to them. They on code about that. So I'm going to ask again, does anybody in my chat room think that he would go and play with the Jewish folks like that and they'll just be like, yeah, let's just have a conversation with you? You know, they'd be like, nah, bruh, like you might be sorry, but you ain't as sorry as you about to be. Now, either you going to cut this check and drop this bag with an apology. We going to make you do this for about a year. I mean, come on now. We done seen how they get down. But when they view you as anti-Semitic, okay, first of all, Semitic is a linguistic term. It's not anything to do with a racial term. But see, you got to have intelligence to understand that. But if they deem you anti-Semitic, air quotes, hey, boy, they take you on the Jewish community apology tour, okay? I'm trying to tell you. So, you know, I would love for our people, foundational Black Americans, to have that collective self-esteem and stop being so impressed with white men or white women that say something to tickle our ears. It's time out for that. We have a lot of work to do, and the number one way to get that work done is to stay focused, have your self-esteem for your lineage and your people up to where it needs to be. Simple. Don't tolerate what other groups won't let you do to them. Okay? It's simple. Don't tolerate what other groups won't let you do to them. Because see, for anybody that's still not getting it yet, let me put it to you this way before we move on. show me in America in the last 25 years, we'll say that, where white America, because I'm not even counting before that. I could go further back, but I'm going to say within the last 25 years, show me where white America has had an overwhelming abundance of grace and compassion for black Americans, huh? Come on now. Can you show me anywhere where they've had that? Where they're like, hey, stop, let these black people alone. Don't treat them that way. How could you say this? No. Can somebody show me where that exists? I've never seen it yet. Maybe I missed something. Maybe something happened while I was asleep and y'all can fill me in on some of these things. I have never seen it, ladies and gentlemen. You understand? So see, that's where I'm coming at it from. Don't give these people anything that they're not willing to give us. All right? It's long overdue for us to treat them that way because, see, the old cliche saying, you teach people how to treat you. We've given the most to every group in this country and have gotten the least amount of respect for it. To the point these people will even collaborate with our open enemies to take our lives when they get in different types of positions, especially the medical field. That's a very dangerous one. We see what they do when they get in law enforcement. We see how they join in either political party when it comes to gerrymandering districts, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So it's time for us to really take an honest assessment at all these people that's talking about they want all these coalitions, et cetera. Because, see, let me tell you something else before we get further into analyzing this. Anytime that you tell a people no, individual or collective, when you tell them no, watch the response that they give you. Because, see, when you say no, one of the most powerful words in the English language, okay, when you tell them no, if they respect you, they accept the no and say, okay, I understand. We can't do business on this or whatever. Okay, I accept that. But when you tell somebody no and their immediate response is act to you with hostility, that lets you know that they were never acting in good faith from the beginning. Because, see, no is a part of adult life, okay? Sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes the answer is no. But if somebody tells you no and you respect them, you're not going to respond in a hostile manner. Always teach your little black children, little boys and girls, to be very wary of anybody that when they tell them no about something, the reaction is hostile, okay? We all have the right to say, no, we're not going to tolerate this type of treatment in our country, okay? That we pay taxes in, that our ancestors helped build, fought for, etc. Okay? We're not going to be putting up with that anymore. This should have been done a long time ago. And again, I use the term generational lineage synergy. That's where we're at across the modern generations, especially. All of us are unified on saying we're not going to be treated any and every kind of way on our homeland. Okay? We're not. And that includes if some of our people want to boycott the tether class businesses. Because I'm going to say this for the slow bus people. The tether class is an extension arm of white supremacy because they help uphold it. Not just with their businesses when they being disrespectful. They're in politics. In both political parties, there are tethers. Hello, for the people that are slow talking about, whoa, yo, going after them. You have tether class disrespectful immigrants in the Democrats. You have tether class disrespectful immigrants in the Republicans. We all know who they are on both sides. We covered it for years over here on this channel and many others that are outside of my platform. So for anybody that's got a bug up their ass about the tether class businesses getting boycotted, that's a you problem. Especially if you somebody that ain't putting no skin in the game, man, on nothing. Always got something to say about what somebody do to take a solution. Look, I'm all for boycotting them and everybody else that disrespect us. Like I said, most people, when we say something, a lot of people don't understand that it goes without saying. We don't have one-track minds over here in the foundational Black American Grassroots, okay? Some people, instead of running their mouth, they need to get plugged into what we're doing. And then maybe you start showing up where we at when we trying to get something done. Then you will see what was going on, okay? But see, some people, they're not going to do anything but run their mouth and assume they know things, okay? Very embarrassing to make assumptions when you don't know anything for those people that it applies to. But we're not done yet, family. We got some more to analyze into. We're going to get on further into it.
Joey Swole is being counted for defending Hulk Hogan.
What did he do?
Take a look.
Listen, I can post Hulk Hogan if I want to. Just because somebody makes a mistake in their life doesn't mean that they haven't done good things.
Hitler.
I don't know what he did, and he said something 20 years ago and apologized for it.
He called black people hard yards and was angry at his daughter for dating one, and said only rich ones are acceptable because the money makes up for it.
And apologized for it.
He said he would never want to be reincarnated into a black family because that would be his karma for what he's done and said to them.
And apologized for it.
He also prevented other workers from unionizing so he could make all the money as the face.
And apologized for it.
And when his son paralyzed the guy, he said God punished the guy who got paralyzed.
If you're going to attack me, you better go after the colored athletes and the people that are black and minority that went and posted him as well.
Deflection 101, zero accountability. Look what everybody else is doing except for me. Also, the use of colored is insane.
Okay, the man was nice to me. He made a mistake.
He's extremely racist, but he was nice to me, so I accept all of his behaviors and shun anybody who he was horrible to and made feel horrible.
I'm not God. People make mistakes in life. If you got a problem with that, look at yourself. There's not one single person in here that hasn't made a mistake.
That is the most skinhead comment I have ever heard in my life.
If you got a problem with that, then just leave or you'll be blocked.
If you don't side with racists or support them, leave or I'm going to block you because I side with them and I support them.
Period.
That was pretty bad, but people are saying I know who he voted for.
Oh, we all know who he voted for.
You can't know off of one video.
We all know!
Shout out to that young brother right there, because see, let me tell you why that makes me so proud to see that in the younger generation, because I'm gonna assume that this young man, it could just by his looks, I'm assuming that he's probably Gen Z. Shout out to all of you in Gen Z that get it, man. Shout out to all of you that get it, man, because see, I get it. Between generations, there's differences of ideology, thought processes, but that anti-black racism is a constant problem. And see, what makes me happy is when I see young brothers like him taking that stance and able to eloquently break that down and point out exactly why it's unacceptable to his generation. That has more value than those like myself that are older, because it's coming from their peer group where they can definitely relate to it. Now, sure, plenty of them will tune into this platform and many others, you know what I'm saying? But it's always good when you see the younger peer group like, okay, they get it. They understand what they're dealing with. You understand? And see, notice this. Remember in the clip there that the young brother was showing, where he kept showing Joey Swole talking about mistake, mistake, mistake. Now, what have I taught y'all on this channel for years about the difference between a mistake and a bad decision? Mistake, unforeseen occurrence. Bad decision, a series of thoughts that leads to a cognizant choice that you make. You choose to make it. What Hulk Hogan did and said towards our people was not a mistake. What Joey Swole did was not a mistake. Notice how he tried to play on black folks. That's who was giving them the smoke. Most of the foundation of black Americans. Notice how he tried to play on our heartstring and try to throw the part in there about religion. I'm not God. Nobody's perfect. See, you got to know when to draw the line and recognize how the white supremacists misuse religion to play on our heartstrings. You understand? No. You don't let people play with you like that when they do something egregious. Be like, no, thank you for revealing your true colors. You're a snake. And we're going to put you where a snake belongs, outside. You can't come inside if you're going to exhibit snake behavior. You showed your true colors. Then, just like a white supremacist, you went and doubled down on it because, see, let me tell you something. Remember what I played at the beginning of this broadcast. If you just joined us over here, you have to catch the beginning, okay? I played you that at the beginning where he came back and talking about, oh, people are telling me not to give up and you're not going to counsel me. Good. We don't want you counsel. Not people like myself that have sense. We want you to stick around, buddy. We need you here so that you can show other young people what you really are, okay? And that is not just the elder white supremacists. It's your generation too, referring to our people as colored. No, we don't want you going nowhere. Keep it up. I want you to double down on it because, see, you got to understand something. The people that was telling him not to quit or not to give up, who you think that was? Mostly it was the tether class, but definitely his own peer group of the white supremacists. Because, see, that whole thing about them, they going to force Hulk Hogan on us or any other anti-black racist as a hero. No. Good luck with you trying it, but you're going to be frustrated because, no, our people love ourselves much more than to allow that to occur. And we're going to make sure that future generations understand who those types of people are, even the ones that defend it. Because even if you didn't say what Hulk Hogan said, you were defending it. So that means you have the same thought process ideology. Definitely when you calling folks colored. Oh, okay, cool. No problem. Bet. That's where you going to be. All right. So, you know what I'm saying? Again, I love it when I see the younger generation understanding that, hey, nope, this is a line in the sand that we drawing. We recognize you for what you are. Because see, that's what they're counting on. They're counting on younger generations to have their guard down to the point. Because see, look, let me thread another needle here. Okay. Why do you think that they invest so much in promoting all this sensitivity garbage and trying to promote that it's okay for us to come out here as men and paint our nails and wear purses and stuff and gender fluidity and all this other nonsense? Yeah, because they know that that's going to weaken you and make you vulnerable to not recognizing the threat of racism and white supremacy. All of that is done by design. I don't care who don't like it. That's the truth. See, they don't like it when you speak the truth to our people over here. You use current examples, especially recent examples, to point things out. Because, see, what they try to do with history, we've all heard this line before. Oh, that was in the past. That was a long time ago, but it's not like that today. Bullshit. Nope. And you keep showing us every day that it's still what we're dealing with here in 2025 in America. But we're not done yet. We got some more things to analyze here, ladies and gentlemen. Because, see, let me tell y'all something, man. Tonight's broadcast is going to be one of those where people really go back and play it back a couple of times, really start to do some self-reflection on certain things. Because, see, sometimes, look, there are some of our people that are very, very compassionate. They mean well, brothers and sisters alike. But sometimes when you put things in a proper context and make them go back and say, wait a minute, take a look at this. Not just the person I'm talking about here tonight with Joey Swole, but you look at the people that you interact with in your day-to-day life and see if you don't recognize some of these microaggressions. You understand? Because, see, let me give it to you this way before I continue here. Behind every microaggression is a macro sentiment, okay? Yes, I'm using it. Macro sentiment of anti-black racism. The microaggression is, okay, hey, I got sensitive not to lose my job, so let me codify it and kind of change up how I'm going to be racist towards you, whether it's with a certain term I don't think you know nothing about or with my actions. You know what I'm saying? See, you know, the microaggressions, that's what, like, okay, I can't just really call you the N-word and go and sock you and do other things like I want, so I got to tone it down a little bit. You understand? Yeah, so that's what those microaggressions are for, all right? And over here, we try to teach our people how to recognize them. Let it continue.
So Hogan passed recently, and of course he was a controversial figure. I will say this: wherever Hulk is at, either up or down, he has run his race. So nothing that we can say, we in the land of the living can say can hurt him anymore, but they certainly can hurt his family. And I respect his family saying that this is not the time to remind people he was a racist. But now all members of his family feel that way. Like one of his daughters primarily believes that she doesn't want any money from him. She doesn't want to have anything to do with fighting for the estate, and they didn't speak. Do you know how horrible you got to be to have someone that loves you or that grew up with you not forgive you in death? So it doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't matter what the public at large says. Somebody in his family saying that because he talked about her so bad and said such inflammatory things because she was dating a black man, that so she's calling him a racist. But all of us are remembered by not only the good we did, but the bad. And what you hope is that you've done enough good that it counteracts the other one. We're all just like, so when John Lennon passed, John Lennon was such a beloved figure that radio formats all across the country went silent. When Michael Jackson died, who was equally as talented, probably the most talented entertainer that ever lived, they didn't do the same thing. Not because his history wasn't great, not because his legacy wasn't great. It was because of the last thing that happened to him. That's what they remember. They remember the good and the bad. And it's generally the most prominent thing that happened to you. It's the last thing that happened to you. When Kobe Bryant passed and Gayle King asked that question, everybody got upset. But you are remembered for the good you do and the bad. The things that they want to remember and the things that they want to forget. And when someone in your family, your father in particular, especially with a father and a daughter, has said something that you cannot forget or forgive in death, that tells you everything you need to know about the man we're discussing. So you can rest in peace to some, but not to all.
Okay, so I let D.L. Hughley, as we know, open and proud Democrat shield, D.L. Hughley, I let him speak at length there without interruption because, see, what he was saying, very true, okay? But I'm going to tell you this. Don't think that it escapes me that one of the main motivators One of the main motivating reasons for him saying that is probably because he knew that Hulk Hogan voted for Donald Trump, okay? Now, I got to go here. One of the other main flaws with some of our people is they tend to think that racism is all on one side or the other as far as political parties, and they really are not politically mature enough to understand that the system of white supremacy is upheld by both Democrats and Republicans. So for those that are new to this channel that didn't read the bio, this isn't a Kiss Democrat ass channel, and it damn sure ain't a Kiss Republican ass channel, okay? We are foundational Black American freedmen first over here about the business of handling our lineage, empowerment, and working with other on-code FBA brothers and sisters. That's how we get down over here. We're not putting no political parties, oh, the good guys over here and the bad guys over there. That's really how some of these people see it. So don't think it's lost on me that D.L. Hughley probably had so much to say about that because he knew that Hulk Hogan voted for Donald Trump. And I see the brother Daryl 524 says the highest twins forgive. Oh yeah, man, we seen them Sambozo. And see that I'm glad you brought that up, brother, because when Joey Swole there, okay, as he calls himself, was talking about, well, you better go call out the other colored athletes that posted him too. Oh yes, we was on their ass. Oh, trust me, listen. You think that, see, that's another thing too about some of you white folks. You think that we give our coons and sambos that go along with your bullshit a pass. We don't. Now, the tether class, and see, this is where y'all better, look, white folks, let me give you a bit of advice. When you see some black person, if you don't already know, going along with your bullshit, you better ask them the casual question that we ask. Where your family from? You better start finding out who you talking to, because you should know you're not talking to a foundational Black American freedman most of the time, okay? The only exception would be if you got your Larry Elder, Jesse Lee Peterson ties, okay, your bed bugs or bed winches, but that's not the majority of us. So when you see the Joey Swole saying stuff like that, white folks, you better start asking where they're from, because you know that ain't us going along with that bullshit. No, Hey, look, I forget which one of them passed, but even Diamond and Silk, one of them came out and said, nope, that was a bridge too far when they was doing all that trolling and stuff. White folks, calling, all that, mocking George Floyd and his family and stuff like that. I forget which one of them passed, but one of them was like, no, that's not cool. We're not going to go along with that. So, even our Sambos know just how far to take it. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So, I had to point that part out. But see, D.L. Hughley and the rest of the Democrat shields or the Republican shields, those people too are part of the problem because, see, they're so short-sighted that they think that, okay, this party is the good one and this one is the bad one. And they're doing that to try to get white acceptance and white approval, okay? And either side of the coin, it does not help us out. You know the stance over here, we're like, listen, we are not permanently aligned or loyal to either one. Which one of you is going to present proof of concept policy for our people and show us where the tangibles are, okay? If you ain't talking about no anti-Black hate crime bill, no reparations, us securing the things that we have as far as our businesses and our communities so we can get capital to create more so that we can employ our own people. Hey, man, we really don't have nothing to talk about. Come back when you're ready to talk business. That's where we stand on it. And just because you do it, this is where I want to thread this needle also. Even if it's a Republican or a Democrat that does come to the table and they do square business, that does not mean because they did one thing, we're supposed to be perpetually enamored and loyal to that person. We're like, okay, that was cool. We appreciate that. Okay, next year, time to come back to the table. What you got for me this time in exchange for my vote? That's what an intelligent group of people amongst our lineage does. You understand? So, like I said, over here on this channel, man, we try to make people think over here. You know what I'm saying? We don't just sit up here and talk from speculation and don't put no skin in the game like some folks that's been doing that, okay? So look, we're not done yet. We got to get into something else here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because see, this also is going to thread that Sambozo connection to this situation here tonight. Get into it.
Familiar with the content of Officer Tatum, also known as Officer Brandon Tatum. He's a big-time YouTuber in the conservative space, and he stands out because he's one of the few voices from the historic Black American community that grew up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and now gives commentary on accountability, just many political issues in the States, but one of the things he specializes in is the extreme criticism of black dysfunction. All right. And as it seems, at the behest or bidding of white people. That's kind of how many people see Brandon.
Okay, so for those that don't know, if you don't recognize, you should recognize the voice. We're going to be reviewing something here by O'Shea Duke Jackson, okay? And according to him, he's no longer a part of the manosphere. He was 1/3 of the black manosphere, okay? He says he's no longer a part of that. That's what he says, okay? But he's talking about Brandon Tatum, okay? Boy, this Sambo right here, boy. Brandon Tatum, hardcore, raging coon, okay? Raging coon. We just got to call it what it is. For full disclosure, O'Shea Duke Jackson has called Brandon Tatum his good buddy. That's what he says, okay? He makes no bones about that. Now, that's his personal business, but I'm going to tell you, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any coons for friends, okay? If I identified, if that's what you are, the liability to my people, but to each his own. I want you to hear what he's describing here with Brandon Tatum, and it's going to get into something that's going to show you the connection between Joey Swole types of people and the Brandon Tatums, okay? And we're going to talk solutions about this type of problem because, see, one of the things about it, when you have somebody, I don't care whether it's a man or woman, in our lineage, outside of it, when you have somebody that has a track record of doing the egregious things, buck dancing, sambo, like a Brandon Tatum, etc. You don't sugarcoat the way you describe them. You don't try to tap dance around the issue, okay? Not if you claim that you are about your people and you're about doing the work, because see, think about it, right? If you do that, then that means you compromise to a certain degree. And I'm talking about anybody. I don't give a damn who it is. I don't care who takes it any kind of way. When you start doing that kind of bullshit, and sugarcoating things about a clear and present threat, because make no mistake, a dangerous coon like this, Brandon Tatum, former cop, this motherfucker hate black people. For those that don't know, before I let this continue, you know this son of a bitch here was actually talking about, you know, he thinks that Carmelo Anthony was in the wrong and he was just supposed to sit there and let them white supremacists beat on him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he cut from that cloth, for those of you that don't know. And that's just the short end of it. I remember he was, you know what I'm saying, carrying on and praising the cops that killed our sister Breonna Taylor. I mean, I'll be here all night running down the coon list of Brandon Tatum. Okay, so now, again, full disclosure, O'Shea says this is his good buddy. I want you to hear how he's describing Brandon Tatum, and then it's going to get into further an issue that basically we can kind of call coon on coon violence here in a way, okay? Because, boy, this is going to be ironic. If y'all hadn't seen this, this is going to take a hell of a turn, but we're going to use it to teach a lesson over here tonight. Let's let it continue.
Worked with Brandon before. I don't dislike Brandon. We're different. We have different points of views. I've never really come after Brandon because of that, but that's what he does, all right, for the most part. And most of us can see it. It's kind of how he's grown his following. Now, again, he's commented on the William McNeil situation. And if you know Brandon Tatum, one of the fundamentals that he'll use on his channel is to capitalize on a racial issue. If there's a white cop, black guy, Brandon Tatum will find a way to switch this narrative and somehow use his police knowledge into blaming the person that is black. He does it almost every time. In this case, William McNeil, if you guys remember, there was supposed to be a situation of inclement weather. So what the police said, the reason why he was stopped was because of inclement weather. Now, inclement, which is, my dumb ass didn't know what it was until this, is basically unpleasantly cold or wet weather, all right? So basically what the police were saying, because it was unsafe or undesirable at the time, Mr. McNeil should have had his lights on. And that was the reason for the stop. Now, also, we know Mr. McNeil didn't have a valid license. It was suspended. There was some weed in the car. There were some things like that, but that's irrelevant for the time being right now, because what Brandon Tatum is going to argue is around the inclement weather situation.
You're gonna hear this guy talk about it. You see people say it online. It's the most asinine and ridiculous claim. It's because they hate police and they always want the police to be wrong, so they will make up anything. It wasn't raining. Look at this video. This is fresh rain droplets still hanging onto his vehicle. If somehow it wasn't inclement weather, which means it wasn't raining at all, you wouldn't still see rain droplets on his car.
So what Brandon?
Now let me pause this from what I understand. Okay, for disclosure here. If you want to know how far gone old Brandon Tatum is, yes, for those of you that don't know, my understanding that something has changed. I think he does have an alabaster wife. Okay, so only reason I'm bringing that up is, like I said, when the bed bugs and bed winches, no matter whether they're our lineage or outside of it, boy, once they get hitched to them people to the other side, hey, they said to hell with other black folks. Okay, so for those of you that didn't know that, unless something changed, I do think that is still his current situation. Let's let it continue.
Tatum is saying here, look at the raindrops on the car, all right? It wouldn't be raindrops on the car if it wasn't raining, all right? Now, the lead attorney came back with a magnificent review of this video. Now, he's also an attorney, all right, practicing. And the name of the video is called Officer Tatum is a all right? Now, the lead attorney is very intelligent, so he doesn't roast people based on feelings. Look at the response.
Officer Tatum.
Okay, so now before you hear, the little milk dud head lead attorney Sambo, because I told you it's going to be Sambozo on Sambozo violence over here, okay? What is it? Look, I often find this very interesting when a group of coons get together, you know what I'm saying? They start, holding discourse on which coon was cooning the worst or et cetera. Let me tell you something. For those of you that are a long time, subscribers to this channel or you frequent other new black media channels, you know that the lead attorney, he was one of the main buck dancing Sambos upholding Just Pearly Things. Oh, we going there. Yes, Pearl Davis, a.k.a. Just Pearly Things. Burly Pearly, as I like to call her, Burly Pearly. Yeah, he was upholding that strong-faced motherfucker, okay? Not only that, this boy, the lead attorney, yes, I said boy, was mocking the institution of slavery. The foundational Black American Freedmen Holocaust. Yes, he was. Okay? For those of you that don't remember that or didn't understand that, visit Jason Black's The Business Channel. He did an excellent breakdown of that a couple of years ago. See, we don't really forget anything over here. We don't forget at all. Oh, he was one of the biggest cheerleaders of old Pearly Things, boy. He thought that was just hilarious. Let me tell you something, man. Just like I got on Joey Swole, even those of our own lineage, if I catch you making fun of our Holocaust, hey, man, I got the same smoke for you that I give to white supremacists. I know there is a zero tolerance with that for me, okay? Zero tolerance. You may as well be one of the white supremacists. I catch you mocking our people suffering our pain like that. The Jewish community, I'm going back to them again. You think you can mock the Holocaust in the Jewish community? You think you can be a comedian and make jokes about that kind of shit? See, I don't play them kinds of games. See, I'm really tied to my family and the greater majority of our history in this country. It's a part of who I am. So for those of you that are like that, you understand where I'm coming from, okay? But see, the lead attorney, he's about to actually challenge old Brandon Tater Tot here, all right? He about to challenge him on, his assessment about the inclement weather situation, all right? And look, the video that, the lead attorney did that, OSHA is reviewing here, it actually was done as a tongue-in-cheek, like, comment, because trust me, both of these coons on the same page, okay? The Brandon Tatum's lead attorneys, both of them sound both on the same page. They are, all right? Don't let them fool you, all right? But from time to time, they will challenge each other for content's sake or what have you, but make no mistake, these are not people that we can count on. Like I said, if you're going to have an attorney and the motherfucker's a coon, what good is he? Okay? He's not going out here trying to, counter the Ed Blooms, etc. out here. And then as far as Brandon Tatum is concerned, well, I mean, do I even need to go there? There will never be a time where he will call out race soldiers for harming a black person, all right? So, I just want y'all to understand the two individuals that are about to have a contrast of ideas. Let's let it continue.
says if it wasn't inclement weather, you wouldn't see rain droplets still on his car. Now, guys, I got a question for you, and I'm going to see who are the A students and who are the B students, all right? There are two problems with what Brandon Tatum just said. He said that if it wasn't inclement weather, you still wouldn't see the rain droplets on the car. Can you identify the two problems with this statement? I'll give you 5 seconds, all right? And while you're considering it, it's very hard to get an A in law school, okay? All right, time's up. If you got this answer, then at least you have a B. What's the problem with what he said? Let's go back and take a look.
Look at this video. This is fresh rain droplets still hanging onto his vehicle. If somehow it wasn't inclement weather, which means it wasn't raining at all, you wouldn't still see rain droplets on his car.
He said if it wasn't inclement weather, you wouldn't see raindrops on the car. What is the B answer? The B answer is, Officer Tatum, respectfully, you can see raindrops on a car when it's not raining. The rain could have stopped 5 minutes ago. It could have stopped 15 minutes ago. It could have stopped 30 minutes ago.
Now, believe it or not, the lead attorney actually has a valid point with what he's saying here, okay? I can give credit where credit is due. And see, look, let me say this also. You heard O'Shea say that the lead attorney is very intelligent. I won't make any bones about that. You will have some people that would say that, but see, what I do, I deal in reality. But understand this, just because somebody is intelligent, it doesn't mean that they're not a coon. I don't care if it's male or female, FBA or non-FBA. You can have intelligence and be a raging buckdancing Sambozo or Sambit, okay? You can have intelligence and still do things that are devoid of any common sense, okay? So, you know, the thing about intelligence, you know, I might really have to have a roundtable discussion on intelligence, you know what I'm saying? Because, see, like, to be honest with you, one of the drawbacks about being an intelligent person, sometimes if you are not grounded, okay, as far as like being a person that, you know, you understand that intelligence, like anything else, is a tool. If you let that intelligence goad you into becoming arrogant, y'all know what I keep telling y'all about arrogance. It blinds you to the real world. That's a weakness. It's not a strength. We might have to get deep into that discussion, you know, on the next X space or so that I have, because we're going to have one coming up very soon. Salute to my good brother, Black Voltron Reloaded. I got to get up with you, brother. I don't know if you'll have time to chop it up after tonight's stream, but we definitely going to have to chop it up because, yeah. It's some things, man, we're going to definitely have to break up on our next X space, man, regarding some of these current events here. But the lead attorney does have a point nonetheless. So now he's arguing against what Brandon the Coon Tatum has to say, okay, his fellow coon. And I want y'all to watch where Brandon Tatum is going to go in the rest of this, okay? So let it continue.
Because there are raindrops on a car does not mean that it's raining.
So he's saying here, the term inclement weather with regards to raining, well, basically, it doesn't mean that it's continually raining or it's still raining right now, right? It could have been raining 30 minutes ago. It could have been raining an hour ago, but it does not mean that the weather is inclement, which also, to me, indicates that this is a term which is subjective. Now, if you can look at what Wikipedia says, we would say that this is severe weather, okay? Unfavorable weather, which means any type of weather such as rain, snow, high winds that would slow down or prevent work being undertaken on a building site. Now, if this is inclement, according to Oxford Reference, what we were seeing during a traffic stop was not inclement weather, according to what Oxford's saying, because if we were to put a building site out there, people were to working, we can't see the foreman saying, hey, you guys should stop working because this weather's inclement. I just don't think that would be the case. But the officer, which again used that particular argument to pull him over, I think was a little stupid, but okay. I mean, it was petty, but that's not really inclement weather. And again, he answers the point, well, it could have been minutes ago. But the next part is this.
Somehow.
So now let me pause this, right? And I'll let O'Shea get that out for a reason, because it kind of, you know, it dovetails off of something I just said a little while ago here. One of the weaknesses about very intelligent people sometimes, because look, regardless of the Sambozo shit that lead attorney has done, Brandon Tatum has done, O'Shea has done in the past, these are intelligent people. These are not dummies, okay? By any stretch of the imagination, all right? Which is another reason why if you're a coon, it really, you really don't deserve any grace because you're intelligent enough for what you're doing. But see, I want you to pay attention to how O'Shea was given the definition of inclement weather, et cetera, et cetera. This is something right here. And I'm not going to say that O'Shea didn't cover this. Maybe he did. I don't know. But the greater concern for me is I don't give a fuck about the goddamn weather. I get it. That's germane to the argument that they're making here. What I care about is, why did you punch that brother in his face? You see what I'm saying? See, look, let me go ahead and break it down this way. Salute to the good brother K Wright in the building. I see you. Let me tell you something, man. Intelligent people, they can become bogged down in a case of paralysis analysis sometimes. They'll go in circles about that. And see, this is why, in the foundational Black American grassroots community, you need a range of different brothers and sisters bouncing ideas off of one another, because it's like checks and balances. You can't have very intelligent people just going in circles with things, because sometimes that stagnates any type of movement that you're trying to get. And white supremacists are very good at this. Think about what I said earlier in the broadcast. They are masters of keeping you debating and talking in circles to the point that you forget what the actual goal is. Do you understand? So again, I ain't trying to kick O'Shea's back in, but that, and then you're going to see that Brandon Tatum, he ain't going to really bring up the main issue. You socked this young man in the face when he didn't have a weapon. He didn't threaten to kill nobody. Yes, he was driving without, a valid license, the weed in the car, etc. But did that justify them busting his window and punching him in the mouth? No. Even if you want to say, okay, because I already reviewed this. Y'all saw the broadcast. Even if you want to say that, okay, he slammed that door and he closed and wasn't going to get out. That still mean that you pull him out and just beat the brother down? I can see if you open the door and then you get him out and handcuff and say, okay, you're under arrest for resisting arrest, but beating him down like that? Nah. Mm-mm. So again, I just want y'all to be aware that when it comes to people that are intelligent, that's a weakness that a lot of them can't see sometimes too. You understand? And look, we don't have to pick on nobody. We correct each other in love. So just be aware that paralysis analysis are a factor with a lot of intelligent people. Let's let it continue.
It wasn't inclement weather, which means it wasn't raining at all, you wouldn't still see rain droplets on his car.
Did you catch it? Guys, I will tell you that if you are an attorney, you have to pay such close attention to every single word. What did Officer Tatum say? He said, if it wasn't inclement weather. What's the problem with that? The problem is inclement weather isn't a thing. It's nowhere in the statute. Guys, here is the complete statute that governs when your lights must be on, your headlights. Again, we see here during any rain, smoke, or fog. Do you see anything about inclement weather? As a lawyer, you have to pay attention to when people try to introduce new words, new meanings into an argument. Nowhere in here does it talk about inclement weather. In fact, if I go up here and just do a Control F, let's see. I am going to put the word inclement. I don't know if you can see this or not, guys, but I put the word inclement in here and it comes up 0/0. Nowhere in here does it talk about inclement weather.
So Brandon Tatum.
Now, what the lead attorney just said is very correct. That's something that a lot of our people need to learn to do, because again, whether people like him or not, he is actually a practicing attorney. And salute to my good brother Kid Grab Beyond. I see you, good brother. But that's a very important thing. Paying attention to detail and language that's used, especially in these cases where they're trying to jam you up. Okay, it's good for your attorney to have that type of knowledge if you're in one of those situations, but it's also good that even before you get into those situations, this is the type of discourse that we have to have amongst one another to prepare ourselves to deal with these things, okay? Having that knowledge and that understanding that words actually do matter, you know what I'm saying? Because see, look, I'm just going to admit this. Y'all know I'm a stickler for this. This is why I'm a big person on correcting stuff when I see in the comments all kinds of crazy stuff people be spelling, and then people using the wrong types of words and stuff. I'm like, we don't do that over here. Okay. And y'all know me, boy. You want to get me on your ass or clowning you, man? Come in my comment section and you need some hooked on phonics training. Okay. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know. You better hope I don't see it. But see, that's a very important thing. Besides just being trivial and splitting hairs over things, we need to actually understand that language matters, especially in legal situations. All right. Because it could be the difference between you, actually, your attorney getting you off of that situation, or you understanding how to explain to other brothers and sisters how not to get in those situations in the first place. Because believe it or not, one of the other problems in our community when it comes to especially dealing with these damn race soldiers, a lot of our people suffer from lack of knowledge of certain things. And I'm going to tell y'all, I've said this over the years before we let this continue. One of the things that makes me cringe the most is when I see, and y'all can look this up on here on this platform yourself on YouTube, people start, getting bad information on it. I'm a Moor. You can't stop me while I'm traveling and all that stupidity. Y'all see how that work out in court for those demographic people. Okay, am I saying all of the Moor Science Temple guys are like that? No, but you do have some out there that give people bad information and they can get you jammed up. In some cases, they can get you killed also. Okay? So, having accurate information definitely does matter is what I'm saying. So, regardless of my issues with lead attorneys cooning, he's definitely right there. Now, we're going to pick back up into where we're going to go into what Brandon Tatum is saying here. Because, see, again, unless y'all pointed out to me, I didn't hear Brandon Tatum condemning them for beating on that young man like that. You understand? I never did see it, and he never will. Okay? So we're going to get back into this, and you're going to see where this buck dancing Sambo is about to go. So to continue.
Tries to use new language. And again, he's changing the argument before our very eyes. Now, for those of us who are not attorneys, it would have been very difficult for me to catch that. And that's why a person like Brandon Tatum debating somebody who's not in law, he would have a level of an advantage, because simply a person is not keen on what he's doing. But it's clear as to what the lead attorney is talking about. He's changing the language in the argument to fit what he's trying to transpose here. And it doesn't make sense. He even went and looked up in the Florida statutes here, the term inclement, it is nowhere to be found there. So if he's as the video title says, and I believe it was another YouTuber that actually said that, not actually him, he's repeating the phrase, what can be inferred from Officer Brandon Tatum is that his content is very agenda-based, okay? And
no, his content is coon-based, O'Shea. Now, I get it, that's your good buddy, but his content is coon-based. And salute to the good sister, Ms. L. She says, is this attorney representing Mr. McNeil? No, ma'am, he's not. He's not. He's just one of those coon manosphere adjacent lawyers that they have over there that don't do nothing for our people, and he's debating his fellow coon Brandon Tatum over here. Look, believe it or not, if this joker was representing the young brother there, Mr. McNeil, as good and incompetent as he sounds here in this video making the argument, all they got to do is wave some white woman in front of the lead attorney. Okay, and yeah, that wouldn't go too good for me. Yes, that's just how much confidence I have in that book dancer Sambo with the stuff he's done over the years. But you hear the argument here in the case that, is being made by O'Shea about, the attorney actually debating and engaging with Brandon Tatum, and then, failing to call Brandon Tatum's content content. Okay, there's a new one for you. It's not content, it's content. Okay. Everything that Brandon Tatum does or says, you never see him advocating for black people or condemning race soldiers because he was compromised by that system. Okay. And see, that's one of the problems that we have, whether it's people that are ex-military, ex-police, if they actually get into the legal firm as far as lawyers or being judges or what have you, you always have to watch out for those that have the Uncle Ruckus syndrome. Okay. They hate black people and they be thinking that, okay, if I show white supremacists in power how much I hate my own people, I'm going to be the safe one. But see, here's the thing. We all know that Coonan does not have a retirement plan. They're not going to spare you. No, they're going to be like, thanks, Negro. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for doing your part. Now you get on over there with the rest of them. That's what they don't get. They keep thinking they have a safe spot under white supremacy. See, I'm going to tell you something. The Brandon Tatums and all the rest of them, their day is coming. Boy, they really don't pay attention to the social climate that we're in. Even if them folks don't directly turn on you, you better go and look at what happened to people like Ken Thompson. Sometimes the ancestors directly touch you with that and certain things start happening to you. Oh, hey, they don't have to believe that because, see, they'll hear something like that and be like, oh, listen to what he's saying. Okay. And look around. And look around. You're going to have your late Lanier moment on land. You know what I'm saying? And when it happens, ain't nobody going to feel bad for it. But we're going to let this continue here because O'Shea is about to Actually, don't thread a couple more needles here on what Brandon Tatum was saying. Let's get back to it.
That means he's predisposed to always turning on blacks on the behest of whites, in this case conservative whites, because he's on the either on the interview with somebody that's European Jewish or Caucasian. And this is what I just don't like about some of the content creators in that space, because ultimately you're not doing yourself a service. I mean, and it just makes me think that I'm glad that he's no longer in law enforcement, because maybe that was his ideology at that point too. It could be that officers like Brandon Tatum are the reason why in Black America, why people dislike police officers, because you already have a predisposed notion that, oh, because the person is black, then this person is X, Y, and Z. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Right now, there's a big melee, or it actually occurred at the Cincinnati Music Festival. And it's an unfortunate situation where you had a white guy who ran up on a group of blacks, okay? Depending on who you talk about, they'll say that these blacks beat up this white guy, okay? That's the narrative going out there. But upon further review and understanding of the story, you can see clearly, at least from what I saw, the person who slapped the person first, which was the white guy. Now, it just so happened that everybody in the white guy's camp got demolished. And yes, some people got hit that were innocent, and that's unfortunate. And I'm not trying to make sure or clear that that's okay. It's not okay. But what it does show, it shows one thing, that a lot of the whites were going around blaming Black Cincinnati. Like, this is Black Cincinnati, even some of the blacks. This is what y'all do. Y'all make the city unsafe. And there may be elements of truth to that, but that was not the case in what I saw. But somebody like Brandon Tatum would clearly overlook that and find a way to introduce new language and new terminology to fit his argument to disparage the person that happens to be an African American or Black American. And so this.
And see, now this is where I will give O'Shea credit for. At least he did call it out. He kind of want to tap dance around it. You know, he can do whatever he wants on this platform, but, you know, just calling it right down the middle. Brandon Tatum is a buck dancing coon, and he's always going to defend any white person that harms a black person, not just due to him being a former police officer. And look, let's go here with it. O'Shea was saying that Brandon Tatum might have been the type of black, you know, officer, what have you, that, you know, would suspect a black person. No, you know damn well he was. This is one of the Negroes that have a hatred for his own people, okay? For whatever the reasons were, I don't know what happened to him, but regardless, when you become a threat to our people, the reasons for why you've gone to that place, we don't care about that. Our job is to make sure that we protect ourselves from people like that, okay? That's what our job is, because see, you got to understand what happened to the brother Tyree Nichols. Look at them cops up there. Most of them was tethers, but see, then again, if they not, if they have this type of mentality that Brandon Tatum had, they'll do to a damn tether get there. And see, even with the situation here with Mr. McNeil, you saw it was some tethers in that situation. I heard an accent, but then again, some of them might not have been. And they'll be the black officers that'll sit there and watch white officers beat up another black person if they don't join in. You understand? So see, for me, like I said, man, you know, you're going to have people that are buddy with these types of folks that kind of sugarcoat calling it out. I will give O'Shea credit for actually stating the case on that, because that's exactly what Brandon Tatum does. And as far as the sector of YouTube that Brandon Tatum is in, he ain't want to say it that way. Maybe, you know, he didn't want to get his video demonetized. Over here, we don't have that issue and that problem, okay? He's in the white supremacist sector of YouTube. That's what Brandon Tatum is. If you put him and Myron Gaines in the same room, oh boy, they would be buddy, boy. You know what I'm saying? They over there in that white supremacist sector of YouTube. Okay, Manosphere Jason, whatever you want to call it. All right, that's what they do. For those that don't understand who this buck dancing Sambo is, because this is my first time getting on Brandon Tatum. All right, you know my brother Turn Rain stay giving his ass the business, but. You know, again, with what O'Shea is saying here, he's correct on that. Let it continue.
This is what we call clicking, because what you're trying to do is to get white favoritism in exchange for whatever else, fame, money, but at the end of the day, when you have to do that, nobody respects you, okay? You're not respected for doing that. And again, we all gotta make money here on YouTube and stuff like that, but there are plenty of times I go against the grain because ultimately I feel like it's my duty to express myself freely, but I don't see the creators like maybe Candace Owens here and there, but not often. Not often. And the reason why, because this is what happens. And I think it is really, really unfortunate for somebody like Brandon Tatum to continue doing that, because if something were to ever happen to him, they would get rid of him, okay? They would get rid of him. They support you now, but let you get accused of something. All of a sudden, that support is gone.
Yep. O'Shea, you're actually right about that. And see, and look, you know, O'Shea, believe it or not, you know, I've said this before. A lot of people don't know that he actually is foundational Black American. He's from Sacramento, California. But boy, y'all hearing, boy, the blacks, I don't know what type of household that man was raised in. I'm not going to talk about his family or what he was raised around, but you know what? You know, now that we're at the end of this broadcast, before I close this, let me ask my people a question in here. I want y'all to be honest, okay? Because I ain't just picking on O'Shea. Are there any foundational Black American freedmen in here that you refer to yourself as blacks or the blacks? Now, I could understand if it's some older Black people that do that, but for those that, you know, let me be clear on what I'm saying. Are there any foundational Black American freedmen, men or women in here, from the age of 25 to 50, okay, and up, that refer to yourself as the blacks or blacks? Because I'm just asking, man, because, like, it's like, I got to go here. And again, this ain't just getting at O'Shea, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of them guys that, you know, the coon sector, they I noticed that a lot. They will use that term like they in the damn Jim Crow era or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I signed off in my audience. I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Somebody let me know. King Wright said, fuck no. Exactly. Hey, you damn right, man. I mean, it's that archaic sounding. So, you know, again, like I said, I noticed he do that a lot. You know, y'all know he also call us the hashtag FBA. It's kind of funny. He may as well join Joey Swole with that colors. I guess that's what we gonna be next, man. But anyway, I digress. I will give O'Shea credit for somewhat calling out his coon buddy, Brandon Tatum. But see, we have to go further than that. That's not a harmless thing when you have people that were ex-police officers or current police officers or people that are in the judicial branch of the government or even politicians, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, that take that type of stance towards our own people because, hey, these are the arms and extensions of white supremacy. That is not a harmless thing. It's not just a difference of opinion. When you are in those positions, you have that type of mindset, you are dangerous. This is why we ostracize them from coming around the community. Now, common denominator, for those that might not have caught it, between the Joey Swole situation and what we just reviewed here, is how you have two distinct functions of white supremacy. One from a white supremacist that's pretending to be so wholesome and helpful to help everybody out. And then you have the other arm of white supremacy, the buckdancing Sambo, okay, that comes and says, no matter what you do, you're wrong. Now, they work hand in hand, believe it or not, because see, the one like Joey Swole, that gets you to let your guard down and you invite Remick into the cookout, okay, into the juke joint. You see how that go? Okay, and then the Brandon Tatums, those are the ones right there that are actually willfully helping to put our people in danger because they have that self-hatred. Their self-hatred is not our problem. Our job is to make sure that these people are not going to be a threat to our communities. We have to put them over there with the white supremacists where they belong, all right? In closing, I want to say this, going back to Joey Swole, the solution to make sure that you don't have to deal with those like him, stop letting these people in, stop being impressed by them saying something, doing a dance, whatever. That time period is over, okay? If we're going to be impressed with anybody, we need to be impressed with the brothers and sisters in our community that are actually doing things in favor of our people, getting things done out here on the Black Grassroots, or even our younger foundational Black American freedmen, boys and girls that have any exceptional talent, okay? Why we always looking to confer that type of support behind a Joey Swole, et cetera? Because, see, do we not have enough examples of what happens when we give that type of support to people over there in that particular community? This is where you get your DJ Vlads. Who the fuck need a DJ Vlad when you got my brother, Dewan B? Shout out to Dewan B, man, because Or if y'all didn't catch it, his live before tonight, there's a caller on there. Oh, I got to call Brother DeJuan about that. I want him to give me permission to clip that out and roast the shit out of that motherfucker. Boy, it was a little soy boy calling my Brother DeJuan B program. If you don't know, DeJuan B is an actual comedian by trade. Oh, that was a good time. We had fun roasting his ass over there in that chat room. But anyway, shout out to my Brother DeJuan B. Why would you need a DJ Vlad when you have him, who is a wealth of music history, okay? The brother is actually connected over there on the Los Angeles scene. You know what I'm saying? And can actually teach you from beginning to present day the origins of music. So I'm never going to support a DJ Vlad when we have a DeJuan B. Then you look at Adam 22, you see that nonsense, okay? Federal Agent Vlad and Adam, okay, over there, that nonsense. So, you know, again, it's time for us to stop inviting them folks in, all right? And as far as the tether class, operative word class, if we see them carrying on in that manner, we got to treat them the same, whether you decide to boycott or whatever you decide to do. All we ask is that we apply that to across the board with everybody that disrespect us. We can chew gum and walk at the same time, okay? So brothers and sisters, I just want to make sure that we handle this business over here tonight. I think everybody with common sense will get the sense of the message. And I want to end it on this note, okay? No matter who you are, where you are in this country, do not get frustrated with off-code people around you. This is where platforms like this, you can come and build with brothers and sisters that are on the same page. And do not get frustrated if where you are with what you're doing, things are not changing overnight because we didn't get into this situation overnight. It's not going to be fixed overnight. One thing that you draw strength from is that we are making progress. Okay, we've gotten on code more than we've ever been. There's still a lot of work to do, but at least we are not stagnant and we're not the type of people that, especially before the pandemic, where entertainment, music, movies, etc., could get us distracted off our main purpose, which is a Black empowerment for our entire collective, okay? So we're going to win this fight because when we fight, we win historically. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so be encouraged. That's it. I want y'all to take care of yourselves. Salute to you, Black first, and I will see you all in future content.